The harder you grind, the bigger your dream. The harder you grind, the bigger your dream. The harder you grind, the bigger your dream. I said the harder you grind, the bigger your dream. I said you're up and I'm up. Y'all now tuned in to the Grind Hard Dream Big Show. I got a king in the building, man. Go ahead and introduce yourself to the people.
Peace to the people. Radi Boumaye, man, live from Upper Marlboro's finest. Live from Upper Marlboro's finest. Gold soul forever to be here. It's an honor, it's a privilege. I appreciate the opportunity, good brother.
Appreciate you. So how you feeling spiritually, mentally, physically, and emotionally, man?
Man, I'm maintaining the best way I can. I'm applying the best pressure I can apply every day. I mean that I come home tired every day from work, and I still max out when I get in the house. When I go to bed, it's like I deserve that rest. Right. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I feel as far as on a daily basis. As of this moment right now, I'm feeling great, man.
That's
it's
what's
a special
up,
moment
man.
right now. I'm ready to make this a great moment right here.
That's all right. The opportunist. I love it. So for the people that don't know you, just the upbringing, like, you know, where you born, where you were raised, you know, schools you went to or things that you saw.
Okay. So I was born in Washington, D.C., lived uptown for like 2 years, and I moved to PG County, Maryland, up in Marlboro to be exact. And I've been up in Marlboro pretty much my whole life. I went to Dr. Henry A. Wise High School. Shout out to everybody in Wise, class of '08, the first graduating class. So then I decided to go to Maryland Eastern Shore. I went there, graduated with an English degree, and as of right now, I'm just a 1 degree man, trying to do things a PhD can do, you know, so as far as educational background.
You got a way with words. A way with words in the sense, or, you know, probably, you know, poetic justice a little bit.
Yeah, I like to think so, man. You know, not to toot my own horn, but I've been writing since I was a little kid, you know, so I'm writing since I was probably maybe 9 or 10, and I really took it more seriously when I was in middle school. And what happened was I was in math class, and I wasn't really getting it. I was frustrated, I was upset, and I decided to write it out. And some of those poems became one of my heartfelt desires to make true. And I kept on writing until I kept that same passion growing. And now it makes more sense as I rap, because it's like, okay, I've been doing this for a while now. I started doing poetry in college, in high school and college, and from there I've been taking off with that, bringing it back to the music side. Had a musical background, growing up in the church, being in the choir, doing different things, singing on a stage and everything. So it's almost like everything aligned to bring me to this point.
Yeah. Alignment is key, for sure. So when you were at Eastern Shore, like the transformation there, because I know from high school to college, how was that, you know, for you? Like,
I had an older cousin that went there, man. My god brother / cousin / god brother. He went there and he was holding it down. So I applied to a few different schools. I got accepted to maybe 2 out of the many I applied to. My GPA wasn't the best in high school, but when I got to college, I kind of turned it around. When I got to school, I decided to really put my best effort into it. I saw myself as becoming more of a scholar because my junior and senior years were both impactful and kind of like turnaround years for me. You know what I'm saying? Went from a scholar who wasn't really taking it seriously, wasn't really applying himself in class, and then decided to switch it around once I got to 11th and 12th grade. Being at a new school, I decided to reinvent myself. Still being consistent who I was for those who knew me and went to that school with me. But by my 12th grade year, I kind of established an identity, and I took it to college, and it kind of created itself, you know.
That's what's up. Yeah. I ain't gonna lie, identity is the biggest thing, because I think reinvention, you know, we try to reinvent ourselves every step of the way, like from high school to college, transformation, what we learn as, you know, as an adolescent, right, you know, as a child, and then what we do now in our adulthood. So what were some of those, like, hobbies? You know, I know you said poetry was one of them.
Yeah.
Were you, like, into the sports or nah?
Yeah, man. I played basketball, football, and baseball growing up.
Okay. So baseball. That's all right. That's baseball. Different. You feel me? Especially in our community, because, you know, it's normally basketball and football.
Baseball is probably one of my favorite ones because I felt like it was new and always seen it on TV. And growing up, I played backyard baseball on the PC at my grandma's house. So when I decided to play, you know, I made the team. I was like, you know what, I think I can do this. But I didn't play my senior year because I wanted to get a job.
Okay.
So I decided to make that different transition. But I played sports. I was big into just trying to be around the people. A lot of different things I did growing up was community-based or social-based.
Okay.
And then being in the church, we would go out and meet people and, you know, talk about the gospel and things like that. So I had that growing up as well.
Okay, that's what's up, man. I'm going to clap that up. That's all right, man, because that's a lot
that's
in a
for
nutshell.
Sure, man.
For
peace,
sure.
Peace, yeah.
So community, obviously, how do we define it, or what does it mean to you, and when did you really, like, get involved in it?
So I define community as people coming together to advocate for a common cause. And when people coming together, united as one for a common cause, you can accomplish great things. So it's about really people having the same, not necessarily they got to think the same thing, but they have to have a similar mentality.
Okay.
You know, a similar mentality, a similar energy to which you can identify who's on your team and who's not. And that's kind of like where the dividing line begins for me. Just identifying who's on my team and who's not by the mindset and the energy, and also just by the interaction. So a lot of it just has to do with harmony. I think so. What meshes together, what meshes well, and you apply the principles you apply the wisdom you have learned from that, and you try to bring understanding to a lot of different people so that they can apply it to their lives. And when they come together under that common cause, that's when you got community.
Okay, all right, man. I ain't gonna lie, man. I'm just listening. Like right now, it's heavy. He talking heavy, man. I ain't gonna lie.
I'm chilling, man. I'm chilling.
Yeah, I know.
Man.
I see, but it's just like I feel like different walks of life and different perspective, right? Because I think community starts with your neighbor possibly, or somebody that's down the street, or just like you said, that common goal, that common cause. Everybody understanding and being on the same accord. So, were you involved in community in your early stages, or how did you feel like? Like community events, like when did you start?
I really didn't do the community events. Like when I got to college, when I really started doing more community events, I did a lot of things with the church growing up.
Okay.
In the community, but as far as activism, socially, empowering and impacting people on that kind of level, it was in college when that really started. Just becoming an alpha, joining a fraternity, and then also seeing things going on around the world as I'm reading books and learning about my history, learning about my people, and learning about the things we've been through and what we're going through. It only became natural to step out into that lane, into that role.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, that's what's up. So, as far as your environment, because you also had highlighted the fact that you do music. Obviously, you're an educator as well, trying to do things, without the PhD, which that's a nice vibe, right? And just reflecting on it.
Man, as an educator, and it's crazy because I have realizations almost every day now. One of the things you say, you just listening. I think a lot, man. I think a lot, and I try to synthesize it the best way I can. As an educator, it teaches me how to keep things succinct, how to keep things brief, how to keep things concise, so that the message can be heard and accepted across borders. Educator, I teach all boys.
Okay.
It's all black boys, and it's 4th and 5th grade, and I teach STEM. So it's a creative aspect that goes into it. And I was an English major, man. So when they said we got a STEM position, I was like, why not?
Okay.
I always had a love for science outside of being an English major, and I felt like I can really bring some creativity to this. And it's been successful, man. So I try to speak to the young man inside them boys. You know what I mean? So one thing you said about you want to be the man who you need when you was young, that really resonates with me because that's how I see myself as an educator.
Okay.
And as a man, having these realizations and learning that the steps that I've taken to get me here has both positive and negative implications that I have to accept. And when I accept that, that's when I really can move forward. So I had to make phone calls apologizing. I had to reach out to folks and say my bad, even in public spaces. It's ego ain't really no thing. So if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. All right, bear respect.
Right.
Keep on moving. But at the end of the day, I still know how to handle myself with dignity and respect to where you're not being a pushover and not being too much of a nice guy.
Right.
Because you want to be righteous. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
As a man now, I'm learning how to be rock solid, how to be rock solid in everything I do, how to be on point in everything I do, how to be more militant in everything I do.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up, man. I'm going to clap that up. I ain't going to hold you because, it's hard. I feel like, man, with the generational gaps, you got, the baby boomers, millennials, and, Gen Z, and then I get this generation is alpha. If I'm not mistaken, I think 07 to now is a whole different generation.
Yeah, it's a whole different
it's a whole different generation. So affirmations. How do you start your days with those?
Yeah.
As far as, and then on top of that, like, what is it that you pour into them? To constantly remind them, because I know sometimes it's probably like, okay, well, it's a subject and I don't understand the question. I may get frustrated or confused.
So we always start our day. I had one student stand up and they repeat after me. They say, I say, I'm the master of my destiny. I'm the future of my family. I am the greatest, and it's okay to be myself. And I have them say that as loud and as proud as they can so that the whole building can hear us. Every beginning of every class that I have. So I think that's important because affirmation, when you can affirm a black boy who he is and his greatness, he can take that and run with it, especially if it's coming from a person that has influence or pull and some kind of effect on them already, and you have a certain presence and a certain feel to who you are. And when you speak these words to somebody, it can lift them up and take them places that they probably wouldn't have been themselves.
I agree with you 100% because I know, environments, just growing up in, the DMV, the environments, and you can be a prisoner of your own environment. Of course, what you see from, where you shop at to where you eat at,
right.
What you surround yourself with, and this energy. So talk about environment and atmosphere, because I think what you're creating is an atmosphere that, these boys have never seen before.
I want to, I got to change the climate, man. I got to change the climate. Not to judge all of them, but they come from places where it's not as peaceful, it's more chaos. And even if it's not, it's still something that comes from a very midpoint, and it's something that comes from an opposite extreme. So it's knowing just how to adjust the climate so that you can reach them in a way that has more equilibrium and balance. You know what I mean? I don't try to, I try to speak to one person in hopes that all of them can receive something.
Okay.
I try to keep my approach singular so that I'm not trying to, you know what I mean? So it's kind of like if I speak to that one person and I feel as though a lot more can get it from that one statement, one message, speaking to who they are as young men. So I feel like that is very key to what I do and how I see it.
That's what's up. That's what's up. So teaching at a all boys school, do you think that's a great thing, for you, or like what are you learning? Like, do you see yourself in them kids? Too?
Yeah, man.
That's what's up.
Alignment, man. Alignment is probably the biggest thing. I see a clear path, and I'm going to keep walking that until I become the best I can be at who I am. And so being in this school, I taught at an all-boys high school prior to coming to this all-boys middle school.
Okay.
So I've been in the school system for a little while, teaching all boys, all black boys to be exact, boys that had some problems in the previous schools and came to the certain school I was at. And then now it's just boys who parents want to see them become better so that they can grow up, get learned, become scholars, become leaders, take our jobs, and come, lead the community back to a better place.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I definitely see myself in a lot of these kids, man. I tell them a lot. I had one student call me a school dad, man, and that was probably the highlight that I've had being an educator. Call me a school dad, and every day he comes to me and treats me like he's my son.
Wow.
He comes to me as if he's my son.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Treats me like I'm his father. And of course, the circumstance with his father is unique to what is going on. And at the same time, I respect it, and it's kind of like for him to see me as that, I don't take that lightly. So I'm sure that just being in that building and not worrying about being the best teacher, not being, I want to be the best teacher, but I'm not worrying about being their favorite teacher or being a cool teacher or being the most liked. I'm trying to be the best I can be.
Right, absolutely.
And I think that kind of resonates and it's starting to click with him now. It's my first year in this school, but having 4 to 5 years in the other school with the high school boys, it's natural, man.
Right.
Natural.
Yeah, it's just second nature, right? All right, I'm just waking up. All right, man, I'm on the clock. I'm doing what I need to do, handling my business, man. And I applaud that because I feel like, more men should try to, lead and educate and inform.
Yeah, for sure.
Because, man, the queen's been doing it. You feel me?
Yeah.
So, challenging the men, out there if you're out there. Please.
And they always will. Women are going to be the first teacher.
Yeah.
Because they're the first nurturer, the first nurse, the first everything. Well, first when it comes to the baby coming out of the womb, and they're the first ones to get it in most cases, and then just that connection between mother and child, it always translates in the classroom as well. I teach, and of course, a lot of my coworkers are women, and their impact on the boys is you can tell the difference from the presence and the reaction, and you can tell just by how they carry themselves and how men carry themselves. It has different effects. You know what I mean? So just understanding that and trying to play a role and play a part to bring out the best in these kids.
Absolutely, man. Reach one, teach one, for sure. So as far as, you being an educator, you doing the
people may not get as much of because it's a lot of things that are exaggerated and, of course, a lot of things that are more priority in the eyes of the consumer. You know what I'm saying? So instead of being anti-system after system, I'm like, man, let me bring something here that I can do on my own square and let people come to me.
Right, yeah, for sure. So some of your influences, because I mean, like I said, I know with music and it's a creative process and things of that nature, some of your influences or, that person or maybe a couple of people or different genres.
Yeah, I got a list, man. I got a list, and I feel like I finally whittled it down to the ones who really had the most impact on me. And so I gauge my top 5, my favorite rappers based off of how they impacted me when I first heard them, if they impacted me then and then even now. So I always think back to when I first heard a person and when I learned this from them. So it's no order, but it's always going to be Nas, Kendrick, Mos Def, Nipsey Hussle, Black Thought.
That's rare because you know what? Nobody said those.
Yeah.
Nobody said those. I mean, yeah, of course, Nipsey, I'm a big Nipsey fan. Kendrick Lamar, nobody's really, put him in that, strategize for real. I feel like it's been slept on, and definitely Black Thought.
Black Thought, man.
Yeah, all of them got bars. They all got bars. You feel
man.
me?
Grown man music, man. Grown man music.
Yeah. And I like that, you know, because I'm into that pocket too. I like, you know, the people that story tell, teach you something. Yeah. I want to be able to, you know, take this as tangible information and use it, you know. So I definitely like, you know, the Nipseys,
indeed, man.
the Nas, the Hoves, who else? Man, it's a lot, man. I like Tribe Called Quest.
Tribe Called Quest,
go back there.
I take it back.
You know, Biggie. Man, it's a lot of them, man. I could go on and on.
Yeah, man. Recently, I've been listening to a lot of King Push, a lot of Pusha T.
Okay.
And you know, in preparation for an album, man, I'm just studying, taking notes. I'm just thinking about how bars are being presented, delivery, the cadence, the beat, the pacing, all this stuff. It's like a science, and I'm thinking about it. And Pusha T kind of embodies like the energy that I'm feeling when I be thinking about certain rhymes and that I make. I'm like, man, if I can say it like this right here, you know what I mean, it'll hit harder, you know what I mean. So I really take notes, and it's really the intangibles that I take from the artists that I admire. So for example, Nipsey Hussle can take the music even farther. When it comes to Kendrick, it's just having that perspective of being a good kid in a mad city. And I feel as though, you know what I'm saying, the things that I've grown up and seen and been around and experienced, stuff like that, I was fortunate to be the one that people wanted to make sure didn't go the opposite path. The one that was like, nah, go play basketball. Nah, go over here, go to the library. Nah, stay in school.
Right.
And everybody around me was telling me to do these things are the ones who were doing the things they want me to do. Right. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I related to Kendrick Lamar. Black Thought, man, it's so many levels to Black Thought. So many levels to Nas, you know what I mean? And y'all seen Bay, I feel as though I'm him if I wasn't me. You know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
For sure, yeah. Nah, I think, you know, because like I said, the music that we listen to and the things that we do, I think that it takes a long, you know, it plays a big factor, a big role. So, you know, in our culture, you know, from, you know, the rap and the entertainment consumer side, like you were saying earlier, you know, now to transformation and ownership, it's a beautiful thing to see. That people want to own things, people want to own businesses and things like that. So, you know, speak to the, you know, transformation of what you're saying. Is it a beautiful thing in what you're saying? And, you know, where can we kind of like get better at?
Man, ownership is key, especially for artists. And I think it's been said enough. But one thing I'm learning now, the beats you select, you want to own them joints. You make a song and it's hot. It can go up, it can blow up. But that producer may want that bread. That producer gonna want a percentage, and if you sell too much of that song, it can be in violation of the contract and terms, and they would have TV placement, film placement, and things like that. And it makes you more valid as a businessman. And that's one thing I'm learning as an artist. You want to also have that business acumen because it's a business. You know, it's you can make music and be creative, but you don't want to be the one that's being used for your creativity by signing these deals or getting in situations where you're not knowledgeable of what's going on around you, and you get hemmed up and sucked into a mess. You know what I'm saying? So I think ownership and having the mindset that I want to go out and own, I want to go out and be this, whether it's big or small, just push you in a different headspace. And I think the respect will come when it comes, and you got to appreciate that time.
Absolutely. Yeah. You know, art is exploring your mess, right? And it's just like, okay, well, who has the best mess? Because I think, you know, it's always been community over competition. I always feel like when people collab, more work can get done, obviously. So in community, and bringing it back kind of tenfold with collaboration in the area, just to how to make, you know, neighborhoods a better place. Like, what are some resources you think that are vital and very, very important for communities to have so that way we can flourish? Because I think sometimes we're so stuck in survival mode that we don't tend to, you know, live, or like the sun ain't shining as bright, or you know, I gotta order eggs to see the sunny side. Like, you feel what I'm saying? Things like that. So, you know, what are some things that we need to take heed to and kind of implore in our communities?
There's organizations are plenty, and one in particular organization I'm a part of is National Black United Front, our DC chapter, so DC and Buff. And what we do, we get into the community and we try to serve by feeding the hood, by helping the homeless, by boycotting against things in the community that are detrimental to our children, and by also having community events that could bring people out to see other organizations that are doing the same thing, if not on a greater scale than we are. Organizations are around, man. Just like you said, community from the beginning of this conversation, having that community mindset, man, having something or some group of people who you rock with and y'all trying to make things happen.
Right.
I think we need to have, people need to realize, let me say it like this. What I realize is that is important.
Right.
And without that, I think my dreams and the things I want to accomplish would not have been able to be accomplished without having that help and support.
Right.
And so not even taking it as far as like myself and a personal gain thing, but like one to see other people happy because you did something to help them.
Right.
One to see other people flourish because you helped them succeed.
Absolutely.
You know, and there's organizations that put you in a position to do that in a lot of different ways that I think if people do a little more knowledge, do a little more research to it, it's there. And there's also just trusting your gut and knowing which one's for you. Inquire, get some information, go to a meeting, go to an event, find out what you got to find out. It's like anything else, you got to investigate and make a decision.
Right,
you know
absolutely.
I mean?
Yeah, nah, for sure. Because, you know, like for me, community means a lot. Just being active, being involved, and like I said, being who I needed when I was younger.
Yeah.
I'm just seeing it, and I'm just like, yo, like, I'm just fortunate, man.
Yeah.
I'm just so fortunate that I didn't have to go through this or didn't have to go through that. But just being a blessing in order to receive a blessing. Because, you know, when you go to these shelters or you go to these places and, you know, you go to these conditions, this is not right. This is not sustainable. Like, how are they being able to, you know, just maintain? And just going back and just pouring into it. I think that it's vital and it's very, very important. And, you know, I appreciate the people that, you know, put me in a position. Shout outs to, you know, Dare to Be Different CEO Kim. She, you know, poured into me. We had connected through social media, and ever since, it's been all love in trials and tribulations, and also with Braxton Legacy Foundation and some other great organizations doing great work, like Concerned Citizens. And like I said you have one as well yourself. And I just challenge, you know, people to come together, even if you don't even have an organization, to be like, all right, you know what, cool, let's just, you know, do something that's heartfelt. I think personal gain, like you said before, it's not about personal gain and it's not about a look. It's about a need and a necessity. So that way, okay, you know what, we can meet them where they are and understand that, hey, you know what, we had the resources. I was able to do something, you know, be a part of something that was for a greater good.
Action is going to lead to destruction either way. So if you sit around and not do something or wait for somebody to do something for you or wait for the person to bring you together, you can wait for a little bit longer. When you decide to step out and do your own thing, you can see what your impact is.
Absolutely.
And it's about having your own personal impact and accepting that, and then merging with people who have their own personal impact, accept that, respect that, and move in that same way.
For sure. So, like, what is one thing that you feel like you've, like, learned? Because I feel like, you know, a lot of people are like, oh, yeah, well, you know, I'm still in self-discovery. Or, like, I don't have a superpower. Or I don't have a purpose. Like, what is that one thing that you realize, like, okay, you know what, I got this, and I know I got this, and now it's like, it's purposeful, like you found, you know, purpose. You found
the fire within. I got the eye of the tiger, man.
That's what's up.
The eye of the tiger, and I like that. I look people in their soul when I look at them.
Okay.
You know, so all my kids, I look at them dead in their eyes. Everybody I talk to, look them dead in their eyes, and I can gauge or measure kind of who they are based on that one moment. You know what I'm saying?
Right. The
interaction would show if I was right or not. You know what I'm saying? But I always still, like I said, there's always a thing where that drive just turned it, and that anger and passion that I've had, just trying to take all of those things that give me a certain sensation, and taking it to a positive level, taking it to a more inner spiritual development type thing.
Okay.
So it's more like an inner fire now, instead of just being mad, being angry. It's more of an inner fire, inner passion.
Right.
On the outside.
Got to.
You know
Got
what I'm
to,
saying?
right?
So it's like, it's like ice on the out, fire on the inside. Who can do that but me? You know what I'm saying?
That's what's up. Nah, dude. Talk your talk, man. I'm hearing you. Yeah.
Shout out to the good brothers holding it down, man.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think what I realized is influence. I never really knew how influential I could be, because a lot of people were like, man, you know what? You got a voice. And I was hard-headed. You know, I ain't really got to listen to nobody.
Yeah.
Hard-headed, like, oh, yeah, man, you got to do this, you got to do that. Man, what you talking about? Like, I never really was that type of person. I was hard-headed, so I didn't really like to listen. But now I'm realizing, like, okay, I have a voice, I have passion, I have purpose.
Yeah.
Now that I'm walking into that, like, everything else is aligning and it's not as full, it's not as bad. I'm just constantly reminding myself, like, I'm alive, I'm breathing, I'm winning, I'm right where I needed to be. You know, yesterday's yesterday, and today's a new day.
Next play.
And I'm just doing what I need to do.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm just realizing how influential it is, and just how people can listen, and just not to be afraid to use your voice. Like, yo, use your voice.
Man, you a big example of doing that, because look what you got going on right now, bro. Yeah, I appreciate
and shining
that, man.
light.
I appreciate you shining your light.
Yeah,
shining
for
your
sure.
light, man. Inspires me to keep on shining my light. When I see brothers who I respect continuing to do their thing, being consistent and still striving, it inspires me to keep on striving. I can't quit. I can't quit. I can't quit. I keep going. I gotta keep going. Whether it's where I want to be right now or not, keep going. It's gonna get there. I'll get there before it happens, and then when it happens, I'll be able to enjoy the rewards.
Right, for
even
sure.
More.
Yeah, for sure. So, as far as like favorite like food, TV shows, or like you got so many. You're a man of many hats, right?
Okay.
Educated, artist, fatherhood. It's a lot, right? So, what does self-care look like to you? Do you have any like favorite shows or anything that you like to do, on your free time, if you have free time?
Free time for me, and I take pride in my free time, man. I like having my alone time to sit and think. I sit and think, and I try to not erase, but eliminate all the noise, all the confusion, all the chaos. Settle myself down. I gotta get this accomplished. I gotta get this lesson plan done. I gotta make sure I get these clothes to dry, and I just figure out how to get a system going within a time frame so that I'm not stressing anymore about when I can do it. I'm not being more anxious about time. And I found a way to just like center myself. And then moments when I take the time out of my day, because now it's a daily thing, to just sit back and do that, I feel my days being more highly successful. So self-care of me includes that. Food, tacos, man, I love tacos, man. So when it comes to the tacos, some fresh fruit, you know what I'm saying? Like the raspberry lemonade, you know what I'm saying? With the water on the side, gotta have that too. Man, a few things like that. I'm not really a big game guy. When I get on a game, there's a certain game I like to play. I like playing games that put me in a position of a certain character, and I gotta max out and do my thing. I play a game, but I'm not a big gamer guy. But yeah, self-care, reading, listening to beats, listening to a lot of things on YouTube that I can learn from, hip-hop culture, things about different artists that I respect. It's a channel on YouTube called Stunner Growth.
Okay.
And they go over athletes who could have been this but became that.
Wow.
Or should have been this but became that, and what are the things that they did or didn't do that led them there.
Okay.
And I always take them time to learn about myself, what I'm not doing. I got to change this. I ain't trying to be compared to that. You know what I mean? It's like my father told me to learn from others. So I just try to play back things I've learned, seen, or observed during my free time. That's my self-care.
That's what's up, dog. That's what's up. I ain't gonna lie, because us, we have to find some time for self-care.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna get burned out if you don't.
Facts,
so
man.
That's kind of dope.
Burnt out.
I know for me, I look at it like, all right, man, I'll watch, like a podcast or something like that. Social Proof is a good one.
Okay.
Earn Your Leisure, about finances and things like that. I'm just trying to learn. So I just feel like that, and, reading books as well. I've been reading a lot of books.
Okay.
As far as like some suggestions. The Way of a Superior Man was definitely a great book.
That's the one.
Yeah, that's the great book.
Yeah,
I read that. I also read, what is it? I'm reading The Alchemist right now.
Yes, sir.
So
yes, sir.
I think I'm a little late to it because a lot of people were like, yo.
Man, look, you never late, man. You never late, man.
Yeah, and I just read this book, The Adventures of Uncle Billy and Ross, which is really, really cool.
I haven't heard of that one.
It talks about, message to the young boys, really. How to, as far as just like gratitude and, character, reputation, the things that we chase. So I really saw my inner child in that book.
Yeah.
And another book, Ways Not to Be an Imperfectionist. It was another read as well. So I mean, some powerful reads, man. Definitely, I love to read, and I think the self-help books really kind of redirect you, and and they're timely. So I feel like, oh my gosh, it was right on time when I got this.
Facts.
It was right on time when I got that. Right on time when I got this too. So yeah, definitely reading a lot. I'll go and work out. Walk. Try to walk without my phone. Not to be wired so much, because I feel like sometimes you just gotta unplug.
How do you unplug, man? Like, do you have a certain amount of time a day you try to unplug, or is it more like you just try to remind yourself, hey, I gotta make sure I'm not on the phone too much? Or the phone, man, that joint.
It's crazy, right?
Take your time away from you, bro.
It will. It will. It definitely will. So what I normally do is early in the morning, I'll try to, go for a walk, and I'm not taking the phone with me.
Okay.
And I don't even really have a set time. I'm like, I'm out. If I'm just gonna keep walking, let me just keep walking.
Yeah.
But normally when I come back, an hour without it, I feel good, because I'm like, yo, I'm so oh my gosh, like where's my phone? Is somebody texting me? Somebody calling me? You know, so I think we just have to unplug sometimes.
You gotta unplug sometimes, man. I agree with that.
Revamp, recharge, refocus. That's what I try to tell myself. Sometimes,
repetition, man.
Yeah, repetition, right? Yeah, so I try to tell myself that also, man. And I think that's what I'm learning, because I think with social media, man, it's a scary place.
It's a lot going on.
It's a lot going on.
It's a lot going on with social media, man.
Yeah.
You got to navigate, bro. You got to navigate, man. It's treacherous in these streets, man.
It is. It's treacherous out here. It definitely is, man. But setback for a comeback. So as far as just like any motivation, anything that you want to tell these people, man, because I feel like a lot of people may be down. A lot of people may feel defeated, angry, upset. What motivation would you give those people, man?
Don't play with yourself. So people say, don't play. I don't play games. I don't do this. Okay. Look in the mirror and tell yourself the same thing. You're not going to play with yourself. You're not going to let nobody play with you. And I think when you really mean that, and it shows in your actions and activity, things will change. Like the way of the superior man. The unreasonable man stands firm, right? He don't move. He don't shake. The world changes to him. You know what I'm saying? So it's almost like, think of a perfect example of you walking down the street, and you already walking down the street. Somebody's coming towards you. Who says you got to move out the way? Unless it's a woman or a child.
Right.
Because you see how people take it. Some people want to bump your shoulder. Some people want to try to, be intimidating in that way. Like, I pay attention to all that, man. Like, I don't move out the way unless it's a woman or a child. Because it's all it's all a mental thing, man. Is people going to move you, or you going to move the world? And that goes into everything. When you go into a room, is somebody able to make you bow down and play humble, or you can still stand firm and still be humble at the same time? You know what I'm saying? So sometimes you got to be able to apply that pressure to yourself. And in the moments when you feel that urge to maybe fly or run away, you stay and fight. You stay and fight. You stay and stay strong, and you staying strong, you getting stronger. Man, I work out every day, and I'm seeing all the results pay off when I started working out back then. You know what I mean? Because now we're starting to catch up. And so in life, you got to understand it's a process, it's timing, it's pacing, and it's on every level. It won't change. It may look like a difference on the outside, but the science to it, the steps to it, the process to it, all still the same. And when you can recognize that, you can fall in love with the process and grind it out until you see the end. And it always gets easier if you get good at things. You get better and better and better, it gets easier and easier. But until you step out there and practice, you're going to be slight. You know what I mean? So stop playing with yourself. Get out there, get to work, and go through that stress, go through that struggle to get that strength to stay on the next level and go stage by stage until you reach perfection.
Absolutely, man. Well, I would basically say that you got to start attracting and not chasing. Because I think a lot of us, we're like, man, we want these things, but we have to put the work in to do these things. And it really starts with ourselves. I think, sometimes when people are derailed, some people are hurt, angry and upset, instead of forgiving others, we need to really kind of forgive ourselves sometimes, really understand, what it is that, we did.
That part.
Our role in the situation.
For sure.
What we didn't do or didn't say, or what we said and what we did. Because sometimes we could play this victim, play the blame game. It was them. It wasn't me. So just being mindful of that. So forgiving ourselves first before we forgive others. Because sometimes we forgive others, but we don't really look at ourselves.
We got ourselves and say, I should have forgave myself. Well, I was wrong in that situation. And as a man, not because you all.
No, go ahead.
I was about to say, as a man, just to add on real quick, and I had to learn how to do that in a real kind of way. How to forgive myself and see my own flaws and be like, all right, this is what happened, this is what I did. I know what I didn't do, I know why I did this, I know why I said that, but it's still what I did. This is how it still was received. So, all right, let me adjust my presence real quick so that I can be better in this situation instead of being worse and adding on to the fire.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
For sure. For sure, because I think, and even myself too, because I would sit there and I would look at the other person and be like, oh my gosh, it's that person's fault. But I had to sit back and realize, like, oh, nah, Jay, you was tripping.
Yeah.
Like, Jay, you was really you was really out of pocket. You was really out of line. So I had to really go back and, like, pause and be like, oh, yeah, that was me. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I apologize. And these are words that we don't even really see because it's like, oh, our pride, our ego, the way that we're wired so much, like survival. Like, no, it's not, And don't let the pride and the ego block your blessings. Don't let that be the reason why you can't,
facts.
Do what you need to do.
Yeah, man.
You feel me? So that's what I think, man. I appreciate you, man, for coming through, man. And definitely just sharing these gems, man. And I'm rooting for you. I know that as an educator, it is hard, it is rough. To all the educators out there, I salute you. I salute you because I know it is hard, it is rough, it is different out here. And so just hang in there, continue to do what you do, activism, and being an educator, and just taking your time. Be patient with the kids. I know they probably going through so much, but hats off to all the educators, anybody that works with kids, anybody that's doing community work. Everybody in the world is essential. It doesn't matter your title, it doesn't matter what you do. Everybody's essential. Everybody's important. So like I said, once again, my brother, I appreciate you for coming through, sharing your gems, sharing your
man. Thank you.
It's heartfelt. I'm serious.
Appreciate that.
Yeah,
man. For sure, man.
The harder you grind, the bigger you dream, y'all. The harder you grind, the bigger you dream, man. And we out, y'all.
You mind if I share where they can find me?
Yeah, go ahead. Share where they can find you, man. Go ahead.
So you can find me on all platforms. Radi Boumaye, RAHDI like Ali Boumaye. Radi Boumaye. My new project, Soulful L. That's the brand. Congressional Records. We making moves, man. Vlogs on the way. My new album's on the way. And we working. I appreciate the time, bro. Yeah, for sure. And I'm going to say that again, man. The harder you grind, the bigger you dream. I had to plug my man in, man. Hey, look, make sure y'all support this brother, man. He's more than an artist, more than an educator. He's a human being, just being who he needed when he was younger, just like myself. And there's more people out here like that. So unlock that superpower. Do what you need to do and handle your business, all right? The harder you grind, the bigger you dream. Make sure that you like, subscribe. Uncensored Network, man. Peace.
Peace.